It's night in southeast London. The pubs are full, the day's busy traffic has slowed to a trickle, and the sidewalks crowds have cleared. But if you look closely at a traffic circle in the middle of Westminster Bridge Road, signs of activity can be found. It's a group of guerrilla gardeners, people who come out at night to garden in public places. The group's leader, Richard Reynolds, explains,
We are guerrilla gardening here tonight. This is a location that we first struck 2.5 years ago and filled it with a field of lavender. And now we are weeding it. We are planting crocus bulbs, which will flower in spring. And we're planting 3 big hydrangea, which don't look great at the moment, but again, next summer they'll be massive and blooming and colourful.
While no one may notice it tonight as they walk home from the pub, the traffic circle unleashes an unmistakable scent of lavender into the neighborhood. What was once a dingy circle with few signs of life is now a beautiful garden that looks as though it were planted by professionals. That's what makes guerrilla gardening an outlier in the world of modern activism. While street protests and critical mass bike rides often anger the very people activists are trying to reach, it's hard to find anyone who is angry at these gardeners for sprucing up the neighborhood. But still, as Reynolds will tell you,
Guerrilla gardening is the illicit cultivation of someone else's land.
That means that while few people would denounce these gardeners, what they do is actually illegal. So what is the police's reaction?
Generally they turn a blind eye. We haven't had any trouble tonight so far. Sometimes they'll stop and check up on us, but sometimes they'll be a bit more heavy-handed, and they have threatened to arrest me on only one occasion.
Although Reynolds traces illicit gardening in England back to Gerald Winstanley in the 1640s, he says that the term was actually coined by Americans in New York City in the 1970s, who called themselves green guerrillas. Now the practice is spreading all over the world, from Brussels to Los Angeles. For some, the practice is an extension of a larger environmental program, but as Reynolds explains,
Many of the guerrilla gardeners, and I suddenly started this way, just do it because we like gardening, we don't have a garden, and we can't see the problem in just transforming what is public land anyway and is neglected.
After a few hours of gardening, the traffic circle is looking anything but neglected. Bright pink flowers dot the outer reaches, and next summer the whole thing will be full of color. Satisfied, the group packs up and heads for the pub. It's time for a pint.